Alright, hello everyone, this is Twin Cities Metro Dashcam here, and today I'm going to be doing a review of my 2002 Honda Accord. Before I get started here, I apologize in advance for the wind noise. It is very windy today. First we'll do a walk around of the exterior of the car. The car itself is in pretty good condition. I've just redone a lot of the paints with some compound polish and wax. The only thing that really needs to be done cosmetically to the outside of the car are the hubcaps. As you can see, this one's the worst of the four. It's cracked and paint's peeling off of it and everything. But the rest of the car is in very good condition for its age. This hubcap doesn't look too bad. The paint itself wasn't in bad shape, but I redid it and it looks a lot better. There are some scratches and stuff, especially on the rear side. I was hit there last summer. It was rear-ended, and there I was hit in a parking lot about a year ago. So some things there, and at some point the garage door hit the back here, but I mean it's nothing too bad on the back. And there's a few dents and dings on it, but what do you expect on an older car? Getting the hubcaps to do some work, but otherwise it is in great shape for its age. The car is dirty right now. You can't really tell, but it did rain last night, so it's got water spots all over right now. The headlights are new on this car. I replaced them about 8 or 9 months ago. The older ones are all clouded up, yelled up, fogged up. Finally decided to replace them when one of them burned out. Turned out the second one burned out while we were replacing them, so that was kind of convenient. Something else about this car cosmetically, you might notice there is almost zero rust on the car. Even though it is in Minnesota. No rust along the side. And if we go under the car, the frame is very solid also. Not even really much surface rust either. Unless you look closely at like the exhaust system. But otherwise there's zero rust under here. It's nice and solid. That's pretty much the whole car for you. There's not much rust on it. Before we get into like the features and stuff of the car itself, I'll kind of go over a little bit of the history of this car. So my parents bought this car brand new back in 2002. This car is from Texas. That's where we used to live, which is a good portion of why there is no rust in the car. It's been well taken care of. It's been very, very reliable, and that's why we still have it. Over its almost 20-year lifespan, it has gotten a new alternator, 2 rear wheel bearings, and recently I just replaced the valve cover gaskets. And that's been about it, besides any like ordinary maintenance or a little bit of cosmetic work I've been doing to it over the last year. New brakes and oil changes and all that stuff. It always starts no matter what, even when it's super cold out. And so it has been a very reliable day-to-day transportation for my family and I over the last almost 20 years. This car is old enough, it does not have keyless entry, it just has a single immobilizer key. Well, we have more than one copy of it, but this is the one I have with me. If you turn it once, it just unlocks the driver's door, and if you turn and hold it, it unlocks the rest of them. Here's the interior of the car. And it is also in pretty good condition too. I had it detailed about 6 months ago, so it wasn't like it was in bad condition or anything either before I detailed it. There are obviously some leaves and wood chips and stuff that it managed to get in the driver's side floor mat and stuff, but I mean it's not bad at all. And the interior itself, like I said, is in really good condition. I've kept everything original. Still has the original CD player and radio. We'll get into that more in just a second. For now, we're going to go ahead and start the car and take a look under the hood. As it stands right now, the car has 251,314 miles on it. As you can tell, the car still runs very quiet, and it also rides very quiet, which we'll see in just a second. But for now, we're going to open the hood and take a look under there. This particular Accord has the 3.0 liter VTEC V6 engine. I've not had any problems with the engine. It still runs like a clock. As you'll see in just a second, this car has a 4-speed automatic transmission hooked up to it, which still shifts pretty smooth. The engine's kind of gotten a little bit dirty again with dust and stuff, but I recently had it degreased and stuff too. Here's a picture. I had it looking really nice, but the engine runs very quiet and very smooth. It runs quieter than a lot of newer cars, honestly. So now we'll get into the features of the interior of this car, which for 2002, it's pretty standard for the most part. It's got power windows. Driver's side one is automatic, going down only. It's got power windows on all four. The back two don't go down all the way. It does have power mirrors as well. I'm not going to adjust it too much. This one does have traction control on it. But if I press the button, the light will come on the dash there. That just indicates the system is off. The 4-cylinder Accords from the 6th gen did not have traction control, but the V6 ones did. It also has cruise control. There's a little coin box here. I used to have coins in there, not anymore. I have put a steering wheel cover on this car. It's a Honda one, not really an official one, but one I found at O'Reilly's for like 20 bucks. The steering wheel itself was starting to wear out some, so I put this on about a year ago. Speaking of cruise control, here's the cruise control settings. Set, cancel, resume. You can accelerate and decelerate with these buttons as well. Here are the turn signals. The lights are not automatic, they are manual, which I honestly actually kind of like. High beams, you just push the handle up like that. See the lights on now. And that turns them back off. Here's the lame sounding but very loud meep meep Honda horn this has. Here are the wiper controls. It's got an intermittent, and this sets the intermittent time. That's on and that's full blast, whatever. So that's intermittent. So it'll wait a minute, then it'll go again, as intermittent wipers should. Then this just adjusts the speed of that. That just turns them on. And then that's on full force. Here are your AC and heat controls. You just have fan control here, 1, 2, 3, or 4. You have, that's just blowing out of the vents, that's feet and vents, just feet and defroster, and that's just the defroster. recirculate AC, and that's the rear defroster. Obviously this is the control of the temperature, which I'm not going to turn the heat on right now. It's actually very hot for a fall day today. Not hot, but warm. The AC system and heat system in this car are completely original, and it still works very well. AC blows hot, ice cold, heat is very warm. Even on like a -20 day, I'm turning down the heat by the time I'm getting to my destination. It's that warm. Here's the original CD player and radio that still works. I won't keep playing that for copyright. Obviously that puts it on CD, that adjusts AM and FM on the radio. Down there's a little bit of space in the center console. I just have my phone mounted in here when I use the GPS. As I stated earlier, this has a 4-speed automatic transmission. That's park. That's reverse. You can see the light on there. Neutral. Drive. That is D4, which means it uses all 4 gears. And then you can make it D3, and that just puts it in 2nd gear and in 1st gear. And you can watch the lights on the dash this time. D4 is burned out. Here's the parking brake. Just a standard parking brake. It's got 2 cup holders in the middle here, and some storage in there. It's got like insurance and stuff in it. Here's the glove box. It's got some CDs in it I need to clean out. Up here is my dash cam, which is a Rexing V1. I bought it almost 3 years ago now. It still works pretty good. And we'll take a quick look at the rest of the interior of the car. So here's a quick look at the passenger side seat. It's got decent enough space. Here's the back seat. It's got a decent amount of space. I'll move my tripod here. I was going to use it originally, but it's too windy to use. But I'm 6'1", and I have a decent amount of room back here. It's not enormous space, but it's not bad for a little sedan like this. And the other side's about the same. And the carpets and stuff are in good condition back here. This back seat isn't used that much. And now we'll take a quick look at the trunk. That little button pops it, or you can use the key back here. And it's got a pretty decent sized trunk. I don't put much in here anymore, but it's got a decent sized trunk. Fit whatever you need to if you're going on a road trip or whatever. Alright, now that we've had a chance to look at the car, inside and out, we'll take it on a little drive. I don't really want to call it a test drive because it's my car and I've had it for a while. And with a little bit of magic and video editing, it is a different day now. And we are going to go out on a drive. Quick disclaimer, I'm not looking through the camera and I'm holding onto the steering wheel. So I really don't know what the camera is actually seeing or if it's crooked or anything, because I am looking at the road. The car ride's very quiet, especially for a 20-year-old car. It runs really nice, it shifts well. We've only gotten to about 30 miles an hour so far, so it hasn't really been a real test yet, but we are fixing to turn out onto a main road here in just a minute. As I stated earlier, this car's got 200 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque with the 3-liter V6 engine. But it's got plenty of horsepower, and I'll demonstrate some acceleration here in just a second as we're accelerating onto a highway here. This car gets decent gas mileage. Nothing impressive, but for a V6 it's not too bad. It gets about 20, 21 in the city and about 26 on the highway. I get combined about 23 usually between Phillips. It's nice and quiet when you just accelerate in city driving. I'm in a city driving setting right now. We'll get back on the highway here in just a second, so you can just hear how this car rides at higher speeds. I'm kind of looping around a mall parking lot right now. Oh, I recognize where this is. If I point outside for a second. Here we got a green. We'll get on the interstate. Another note I'm going to make here is that the car actually has really good visibility when you're changing lanes and stuff. There's no real big blind spots, especially since I've got the blind spot mirrors on here. And as you can see, at 70 miles an hour, it still rides really quiet, no excessive wind noise. So now I've got the cruise control engaged here. It does a really good job, especially for how old it is, to keep the speed pretty constant. This car also handles really nice. It's a Honda, so I mean you kind of expect that, but there's no real sharp curves I have to go around until I get to my destination here. But you can definitely take curves at a higher rate of speed in this car than you can in most cars. It doesn't feel like you're about to lose control of the car or skid tires or anything. As you've probably been able to tell, the transmission is still in good shape too, which is great. It still shifts very nice and smooth, like I'll show here. Now I'm about to get off the interstate here. And that'll wrap up the test drive portion of this video. That'll be about it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this little review of my car. Let me know if you want me to do our other two cars, and maybe I'll do them sometime. So yeah, that'll be it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.